And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Make HOAG Money. This is me. I've been around the block a few times. This is the CFTC disclaimer. Everything we do here today is in the spirit of education. We're not suggesting the purchase or sale of anything. This states that futures does have a lot of risk. You could potentially lose all or more than your initial investment, as these are leveraged products. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose. You don't want to change your lifestyle because you're starting to trade, unless it's to the good side, right? But Top Step will put that risk capital up for you, so you don't have to risk it upon succeeding in the trading combine. And of course, past performance is never indicative of future results. This is the rules for Make HOAG Money. We do expect kindness and respect above everything. I wish we were going to be able to have people enabled to talk, but apparently we've had some sort of an issue with Zoom. So we're all going to be on YouTube today, and I'll be doing my best to read as fast as I can on all of your comments, trade ideas. We can still discuss those trade ideas. We can still vote for those trade ideas. We're going to be focusing on the MES. We're not going to trade just to trade. We're not taking losing trades, which is meant to be a joke, as we know losses are a part of trading. We just have to cut them and move along. We will also appreciate any feedback on Make HOAG Money or anything else here at Top Step. Let's take a look here at the platform. We're getting a little bit of a late start here this morning as we're coming into the open. Where are we? We're right in the middle of value from yesterday. We are right in, hang on. We are right in the middle of value, no real overnight inventory. I don't see any reason to really be in a big rush about anything today. We're sitting here trading right at VWAP. Unfortunately, this looks like one of those days where we're going to probably be better off waiting a little while before looking for any opportunities. Here's the TPO chart. Here's the open, right in the comfy area from yesterday, the value area from yesterday. Our overnight low, basically just below value low from yesterday. Our value area high, just above the overnight high. We do have to remember that we have a late spike at the bottom here. So, I'm thinking that we're showing signs of rejection of lower pricing. I almost feel like, if we get a cheap long here somewhere, we better start thinking about it. I don't know. Is it possible to have a separate chat? It's good to see everybody. Thanks for joining me today. James, Vince, good to see you. Dan, Alejandro, Will, JD, good to see you. Jason, JT, Rick is with us, but unfortunately we won't be able to chat today. Thinking long, but where do we get in, Will? That's what I'm thinking as well. It's got a long at 76, but it's not looking like you don't know yet if you're going to be able to get in. Market seems to be pulling back a little bit towards your entry. Where's the opening range? The opening range is still the high and low of the session. So we haven't had a breakout of the opening range here just yet. Dan, I don't know that I can set up a separate chat just for trades or votes. I can do a a poll where we can vote. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get away with a quick poll here about the opening range trade before it breaks out one way or the other. So here's what the poll looks like. If you're new on the YouTube side, opening OR trade. That's an opening range trade. Now I can send it and you can vote. Because so far, well, we just took out the low of the opening range by a couple of ticks. It seems to make a little bit of sense for us to kind of look at a breakout above the opening range for a potential opportunity here. So let's see here. We got 83 quarter. So far, we're seeing 73% saying yes to the opening range trade. We've already taken out the low of it and by 2 ticks, and we haven't seen the market continue to the downside. So I've got an order in 83. This should be a little bit higher here. Hang on, 83 quarter. There. Okay, so let's see what kind of participation we've got on our poll here. Here it is. 13 votes, not very good participation, but we do have 76% of them saying yes. So here we go. Where's our risk? A couple of ticks below the low. And we'll see what happens. We're in now, so we'll see how this flies. You know, I don't hate this because we've got the late spike at the end of the day yesterday. We took out the low of the opening range. We were unable to continue to the downside because of that. Now we're looking above the opening range. So I'm okay with whatever happens with this, and we'll see what happens. And yeah, you're right. I could probably use a chat moderator, but hey, this is what we've got. This is what we're working with, and we'll see what flies here today. You didn't see the voting screen. Here, I'll put up another one, and I'll just say this is the voting screen, so everybody can kind of get used to it. Do you see the poll? Here it is. So obviously anybody that sees it is going to say yes. So if we'll just want to make sure that you can see it, and let's see how many folks we can get to answer. Then we'll know everybody has had the opportunity to see the polls. There's 77 people currently in here, so maybe if we can see that. Hey, one person said no. Sure, you're right. They did. So, all right. Well, we've got it going on here like Donkey Kong so far. Does anybody have a potential profit target in mind for our current position, which is long, the high of the opening range? What is with this? This is crazy. Hang on. I'm going to F-bomb this thing. All right. So Caesar's saying 43.93. 43.93. Just right up here. That would be about a 10-point move. Well, we'll put a seed in there just for now, and we'll take a look and see what happens if we get up there. There we go. That's what I'm asking, Joe. What should be our target? Well, 43.87 is our overnight high. Take profit 1 overnight high. Well, we've just gotten there. $43.91 and 43.99 unless we can't take out the overnight high. Well, let's give it a chance to do that. I think, a little bit more aggressive. I'm going with 43.99. Just short of that 4,400 level. Oh. All right. Yes. Hey, Mr. Hoyt. Good to see you, Mr. Hoyt. Unfortunately, we don't have the Zoom meeting going on today, or I'd bring you in. I can't bring anybody in. We have an issue. VWAP. Always looking for VWAP. It disappeared. Hang on a second. Let me F-bomb this thing again. There it is. 43.80 is VWAP. We've taken out the overnight high. Let's see if we can maintain price above it. We'll see what happens. Dan says he agrees. 43.99. 43.08 definitely key level. Also then 44.16. Let's see what we can do here. Matt, we're going to be looking forward to seeing you when we get Top Step TV up and running here. It's taking a little while. We're delayed things just a little bit, but we'll be in touch soon. And any Tuesday you're here, you're more than welcome to join me as soon as I get this Zoom thing figured out. Joe, should we move the stop to break even? All right, so we've got end of the poll. We have only 40 people out of 83 people voted. So I'll put another poll in. Are we moving our stop to break even? There we go. We can now vote. This platform is a little laggy today. Dan was actually expecting a small balance day. ACH. Looks like we've had a little trouble holding above the overnight high. We're voting now if we want to move our stop to break even, which those of you that know me know that I'm not a fan of doing that, but this is Make HOAG Money. You guys are making the choices. All right. Going to give it another 30 seconds for the poll. And it's not a mandate by any sense. Only 55% said no, 44% said yes. What about trimming risk? Yeah, you can always find a reason. Yes, you can. There's always a reason to and a reason not to, right? You know, we do have that consumer confidence and home sales at 9 o'clock. Consumer confidence, new home sales, 9 o'clock, correct? I think maybe for that reason we should probably manage our risk. Where do we think though? I don't want necessarily break even. I think break even's half back. I'm going to trim risk a little bit here. I want to give the market a chance to breathe here. Huh. Are you close to a birdhouse? You guys can hear all the birds out there? Wow. So my office is, its face is like a big, like wetlands and a pond, and there's a million birds, and I've got my windows wide open because it's kind of cool outside today. It's a nice kind of cool day to have the windows open, so that's where you're hearing all the birds. I didn't think you guys would be able to hear all those. Yeah, JT loves the birds. Me too. I love birds. We're certainly seeing some active dome here. Not that one. This platform's a little bit laggy today. A lot going on, I guess. Here's the ES again. Liquidity above. Certainly looking like the liquidity is above the market. Oh, they left the nest already, your hummingbird babies. Delta positive, correct, and it is not presenting correctly here. It's up 300. It's not up 3,000. Let me F-bomb this thing again. Dr. VJ, we can do that anytime we want. Just went down to VWAP. Let's see what happens here at 9. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's something that we're working on, Doctor. In other words, one mini equals 10 micros. I feel you. There goes our stop. Where is our base for our late spike? Rick saying it bounced off VWAP. It's currently below. Let me try and buy it again here. It's above VWAP again. It's a pretty robust little market here this morning. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of interest. There's the minis. Let's see if VWAP holds here, Rick. Randolph. What is that? Last week's low. So that purple line there is last week's low. Just wanted to double check. Caesar, we had a swing trading combine for a while. It wasn't very popular, so we kind of ended it. But we do a lot of stuff based on your feedback and your wants and needs. So definitely, send a suggestion into support, because we do listen. If that's something that becomes a desire for a lot of traders again, it's something we would certainly consider. Oh, hey, Greg. Yeah, sorry about that. We had something happened in Zoom where all the Make HOAG Money webinars and all the group coaching webinars somehow got deleted. So I'm going to set up new links after Make HOAG Money today, and we'll get those out to you as soon as we can. Net no profit. It's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, are there particular things that you would want to know about, is my question to you. There's so much information out there, and those foundation workshops were just a basic kind of general knowledge of futures, and I think anything we do after that is going to be a little bit more focused. So if you do have anything, in particular that interests you that you'd like to know in deeper detail, let me know. Yes. Dan, yep. Zoom gremlins, right? Yeah. And, it's just kind of hard on YouTube because there's about a 10-second delay from what we're actually looking at and what you're seeing on YouTube, which is kind of a bite. But when we get when we get Top Step TV, I think we're going to get that latency down to about 1 second difference between what's actually happening and what's happening on screen. So that's going to be, I think, a much better experience for everybody. And on Zoom, everything is in real time, and I missed that today, but the gremlins got to us, and but we'll get that fixed. And then when we get to really do Top Step TV, pretty much everything we're going to do is going to be on YouTube. And as far as guests on Make Hogue Money, you're going to be able to talk, and you're going to get a link that's going to connect you to the broadcast on YouTube. So we're going to have a lot of guests. We're going to have Michael Patak coming on and trading a live account. We're going to have other people coming in trading live accounts. We're going to have me trading live accounts and Make Hogue Money. We're going to have all kinds of good stuff. So no, I don't think that risk trim was worth it. And no, I don't do that often, Josiah. That's a great question. When I look at a trade, the first thing I look at, Josiah, is the risk. And if the risk never gets to the stop, then the trade is still valid. The trade is still valid. So we would still be in that original long right now had we not moved our stop. And that's the thing that bugs me about it is you move your stop to break even, it doesn't prove that the trade is wrong if it comes back to break even. How often do you see a trade that goes your way for a little bit, comes back and retests your entry, and then finishes out in your favor? So that's a great question, Josiah. I rarely will trim risk because I'm usually so close to the point of invalidation anyway with my entries. The poll was about basically 50-50, so I trimmed it a little bit, and that cost us a little bit. We do have a little bit better trade location now than we did then, but typically I don't do that. Yeah, we do have two numbers at 9. Dome seems to be thinning in just a little bit. Just kind of keeping an eye on it here. Again, for those of you who are just getting into the session today, I apologize about the lack of accessibility in Zoom. How about 2 or 3 funded Top Step traders trading live for a Top Step TV show? Have you been looking at our plans, Dan? These are all things that we're planning on trying out and implementing on Top Step TV. The issue is, if you have a funded trader, are they willing to show what they're doing? The last thing we want to do is put somebody under pressure and have them take a loss because they were nervous or whatever because they were trading live. It ain't easy, I'm usually a pretty private person, so Make Hogue Money is a good way for all of us to look at the markets and have a chance to participate in the live market. But often what we're doing on Make Hogue Money isn't what I would be doing in my live account. Live sessions with Saul on Discord are awesome. Good. Yeah, he's been, I think, coming to, what is it, office hours once in a while. Saul's an old floor trader. Yeah, no. Trading privately isn't easy either, that's for sure. And it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. All right, here we go. We're holding a position into an economic number. Let's see if this is a bad idea today. Got about a minute left. Mark, yeah, the dome is getting a little bit thin. Let's see what happens. Maybe I should do a poll here real quick and say cut bait. Here it is. Should we cut bait? I know we don't have a lot of time here. Too late. Whoop, 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 whoop. Too late. All right, what were the numbers here? Housing price index, as expected, a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Case Schiller, a little bit higher. Confidence, a little bit higher. Consumer confidence was they were looking for 104. It came out 109.7. That's kind of good. New home sales were 675 expected, came out 763. So lots of activity going out there in the housing department here. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, the blood's coming back into the dome here, so things have calmed a little bit. Let's see what happens. So with consumer confidence higher, let's think about this for a minute. Is the fear going to be that the Fed may raise rates because of all this? New home sales are higher. Consumer confidence is higher. What do you think? Will already talking about that, right? Lots of housing activity is not good from the Fed head perspective. It doesn't rally off the numbers, cut bait. All right, we're out, Rick. We're out. What do we do now? We don't have to do anything, right? Edward, there's a good chance of that, right? Edward is saying we could feasibly chop all the way to Friday's PCE numbers. 2 days of Powell could be whippy, of course. I'm a little leery about longs now because, with housing doing well and consumer confidence that strong, I think the Fed is going to try and stomp on some of that. But what do I know? Yeah, JT is looking. He's the chicken hawk. Dan, the question was, with the numbers that just came out, is there going to be a sense that with, housing robust and consumer confidence higher, is the Fed going to be more likely to raise rates again in July? Right now, we've hardly left value, so I don't feel like we're missing a lot here. Although, I mean, if we were to face the nuances as they are from the chart we're looking at from yesterday, we are showing signs of accepting higher pricing still with the late spike. So if we were just to be basing decisions off of what we're seeing on the fact that we had the late spike yesterday, we should be long. David, you mind talking about timed stops in low volatility conditions? Well, time stops for me are 99% of the time going to be at one extreme of the range or the other. So let's say, for example, if I was looking for a breakout above the initial balance here in the S&Ps, and I were to take that long, it wouldn't be a price range that would tell me it was wrong. It would be, any breakout, I want to go my way almost immediately. If it doesn't go my way almost immediately, I'm out. I try and lose as little as possible on breakout type situations. Certainly is proving to be a small range day so far. We've got 11 points and a tick. Small range so far. That's for sure. Yes, David, that is correct. Fake outs and breakouts, you want immediate response in price, 100%. And most of the time, when we're like extending a range or kind of breaking out of a balance area, you're gonna have a collection of stops. So you're gonna get an initial push in that direction. But then, watching the dome, you may find that the dome just dies. It's like nobody cares. That's less likely to bring continuation. If the dome kind of looks robust, you're seeing a lot of orders being placed and canceled and price jumping around a little bit. That means there's more eyes on it and more likely to continue in that direction. What's this look like on the 5? Coiling. Jimmy, with a smaller IB, would it be plausible that we see a breakout in either direction today? The probability is certainly higher, Jimmy. Good thing to point out. When you have a very small initial balance, it doesn't take a lot of energy to extend outside of it. Think about it like a lamp. It's pretty easy to knock over a lamp, but a very wide initial balance is like trying to knock over a pyramid. It takes much more energy to do so. generally speaking. Good thought, Jimmy. All right, so just took out the low of the range so far. We're still in the initial balance. We've put in a weak low here. In the E-mini S&Ps, there's that weak low. Okay, Amanda, this is a really interesting and a good question. Delta making new lows faster than price. 52, yeah, this is correct. So we do have some pretty decent negative delta here. You know, if we can't break, that's might create a divergence. But Amanda's asking if I would wait to see what happens at the base of the late spike. And I would probably go with no. Because I can manage the risk. Well, if we take out the low of the late spike, it may be proving that the trade is wrong, that the trade is invalid. And I'm risking 5 points on that. I may wait and see, because the overnight low is inside of the late spike, to see how the market treats the overnight low. Right here. So this is the second standard deviation from VWAP that it just reached down and touched. It hasn't gotten to the base of the late spike here just yet. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're getting a little short on time here. But I am going to place an order to buy the overnight low, and I'm going to place a stop a little bit below yesterday's low. So we're looking at 4.25 points of risk. Takes out yesterday's low. That may be saying something. So we're going to keep an eye on this for the next 5 minutes while we have time here and make HOAG money. But I'm going to leave it on, and we'll discuss the results at the end of the day in the recap, in the reflection, if you want to come. Hopefully I'll be able to do one. I don't know what my schedule looks like. Yeah, I have time. So we'll do a reflection today at the end of the day. I might be crazy trying to buy it here. I mean, if we're worried about the Fed raising rates. Could be the wrong thing to do, but it's limited risk. The nuance with the late spike is saying something. And, we're risking just a little bit. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. What do you think? What do you think? I know Caesar's saying if we close below yesterday, if we close a candlestick below yesterday's low, we may be in trouble. JT likes the 68.5. That's the base of the bottom of the late spike. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll try and get a little deeper into the late spike and expand our risk down to here. $5 points. What do you think? And just kind of, we're trying to cheap into good trade location here based on this late spike. But if we don't get to the base of the late spike, don't forget, what doesn't happen is as important as what does happen. If it doesn't get to the base of the late spike, that's saying something. Thanks, JT. Look at this. Getting a bounce already here. See if it lets us cheap into this at some point. But let's see this. Okay. Somebody pointed out that was our trend line. If this whole thing proves to be a bull flag, there's a lot of space above. Matt's stop is at 67 by maybe 70 to 72 and a half. I think we're kind of aligned there, right, Matt? Relatively close. I'm with you, S. Jewel. I'm with you. The late spike yesterday is the main nuance and ruling reason for trades that we've taken so far today. And it's still valid. So we may not get it that cheap. So let's go 72. 77, just like our good friend Matt. A period low rejected. It does say something. Yeah, if this remains excess up against a late spike, I'll be watching the high here as well because that's right up against that trend line. Right up against that trend line. nice 75s. To stop at 70 to get a little aggressive. We're getting a little nice bounce here. Liquidity above. Delta still negative 4,700. Market struggling to even get to the base of the late spike. Uh-huh. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna leave this as it is right now. If I do anything else, we'll talk about that on the reflection. But I gotta run. Thank you all for hanging out with me this morning. Always good to spend some time with the Futures family and Team Top Step. Will, if you don't have any idea what to do here, what's the best thing to do? Don't do anything until something comes to you. Don't do anything until something comes to you. Trade well, everybody. Sorry, it was kind of a bummer we didn't have the Zoom meeting to have with us, but we'll do it next time. And have a great trading day. Looking forward to seeing everybody for Coach's Playbook and at the end of the day for the reflection. We'll see how this day finished up. Trade well, everyone. Don't forget, be kind to yourself and others. Say a prayer for peace and get out there. Be patient and have a great session. Trade well, everyone.